Yeah, so gosh, that's a good question. I think we're going to see a lot more on the infrastructure side, so how we use hardware and devices. Biometrics is going to become a really, really big disruptive force, I think, in authentication, but we have to figure out how to do that in a low-cost way because today it's just prohibitively expensive. So how do we use hardware? And then eventually that leads to things like wearables and AI to create a differentiated user experience.
I think it's still early days in India. If you look at the numbers of countries like US, the UK and China, it's staggering, right? India is still a tiny, tiny proportion of global lending online. I think over the next 5 years, we're going to see this trend accelerate quite dramatically based on all the factors that we discussed earlier. And I think the key for digital players will be to manage hyper growth with good risk management.
Probably number one is data and how we use data most effectively to either improve the customer experience or make better lending decisions. I think that's number one. Number two is probably authentication, and so specifically UID and Aadhaar, how we use that database to authenticate customers across all range of financial services.
So competition is just one thing. In India, you're competing with the mindset of the Indian consumer. You're competing with government policy. You're competing with infrastructure. I think those are bigger competition than another competitor who comes up. I think so for us, it's about growing the market itself. And I think that's where our journey currently is at.